Welcome, everybody, and thanks for tuning in today.
This is the I'd Print That podcast, and I'm Joe.
This is Andrew.
This is our inaugural episode, so we figured we'd start off with doing a little bit of background information, a little bit about us, how we met. I'm a 40-year-old network engineer. I've been doing computer stuff pretty much my entire life into technology. Recently got into 3D printing. I blame Andrew for that.
That's Joe.
That's pretty much me.
All right. Andrew, how's it going, everybody? Just kind of been into everything tech since I figured out what it was. Found out about 3D printing. A guy by the name of Barnacles. He has some YouTube videos up on his channel about Ultimakers and printing, and I thought, wow, I could make my own things. And then so I went and bought one. And nobody was really interested in any of it until I met Joe at my new job.
And my first experience with a 3D printer, I first saw it on Tech TV, cable television, satellite TV.
Oh my God, what's that?
Yeah, exactly. Back in those days, it was, you sent off for a kit and there was nothing pre-built. It was all do it yourself, and even the smallest 3D printer was a couple of $1,000 at that point in time. And I was interested in the technology. I've kind of watched it from the sidelines, but it wasn't until you came along. I said I blame you for it.
It's my fault. I'll take the blame.
Really, really got me going, and I got my first printer. So
yeah.
So how we met?
We met at work.
Work of all places, yeah.
Funny enough, I'm wearing the same shirt today.
Yes.
It's a Star Wars shirt.
Your Pew Pew Stormtrooper shirt.
My Pew Pew Stormtrooper shirt. Funny enough, I was actually supposed to start and ride around with another guy at the office, and he was sick that day, so I got stuck with this guy. And we ended up sitting in a car all day and driving around.
Yeah. I took you to the northern office that day.
That you did?
Because I'm King of the North.
King of the North. And he's still alive, folks.
Yeah.
Sean Bean ain't got nothing on him. All right. Hardware. I have a DaVinci 1.0. I started out with the first gen, and then I got a 1.0A, and I had both of those for a while. And funny enough, I put my printer on Craigslist because I was like, I don't need two, and I'm tired of only being able to print in ABS. Love to be able to print in PLA and any of the exotic materials. Guy got a hold of me. His name's Riley from M3D. He actually works for M3D. And said, hey, I've got this little micro M3D printer. And I said, sure, why not? It fits on the build plate of my DaVinci, but whatever. That's what I use.
The moment you got your M3D Micro there, I decided that rather than wait until January and spend my tax money on a bigger printer, I opted to sell some things on Craigslist and bought a little M3D Micro from Riley also, and I've been tinkering with that and learning what makes them work, how to do it, and it's been a fun and enjoyable experience. I've done a lot of neat little things. I can't wait to get the big one to do awesome big things.
Yeah, the big stuff's a lot of fun. As I've shown you, and everybody that's listening, that ever will listen, you'll notice that you'll do a bunch of little things, and then you do your first big print, and you're like, oh, this is really cool, and then it's like a 30-hour print, and it fails at 10%.
I was lucky enough that the Veroni skull that I did, it was a 36-hour print, and it actually succeeded.
Yep.
It turned out very nice. I used a glow-in-the-dark filament that's viewable on the image gallery on the website.
Yeah. Yep, and that kind of brings us into why we're doing this. We decided that we wanted to do a podcast in one of our trips to go to our north office for the company we work at. Recently, during this last year, past 2015, 3D printing has come to fruition as a desktop at-home thing, and also in some ways it's died. We don't want to see that. We want to see this flourish and continue because we love it, and we want other people to love it too. One of us.
Yeah, and with 3D Systems pulling their little cube printer off the market here by the end of this month, actually, when they announced that here last month, I don't want that to be an omen for what's coming. I want that to be, these guys are sticking with their big industrial printers. They are backing out of the desktop market, but I don't want to see other companies do that.
No.
I definitely think that 3D printing still has a ways to go. I mean, you can't just pull a machine out of the box and download a thing off a Thingiverse and expect it to do these ultra complex prints without some sort of tweaking ahead of time.
Definitely. I mean, when I made the decision to get my DaVinci, I made the decision knowing I was going to have to fix it. I was going to have to make it better. And I have. I've completely wiped the firmware on mine. It's running custom firmware, Repetier 0.92. As of right now, it's only printing PLA and ABS, but a couple mods, and it's got a E3D V6 hot end, and it'll do NinjaFlex, it'll do wood, it'll do the copper fills, everything. And one thing that we've really noticed, there is information out there on 3D printing, but there's not a lot of information on how to make it good, how to make your prints turn out good. You'll see you'll see a time-lapse video of a perfect print, and you're like, wow, that's really cool, because I saw a lot of those, and I was like, man, that's awesome. But how do I do it? And not a lot of people show you how. There are tutorials, and there are tutorials that more cater to people like Joe and I, who are already into 3D printing. We know about it. We're both engineers in our day job, so we have that inclined background to figure it out on our own, or take bits and pieces of information and make it a better printer.
Right. And, what they don't tell you also is in those time lapses, in those successful videos, how many fails were there to get that one perfect video?
It's kind of like printing a wallet.
Right. Ender's had plenty of experiences printing a wallet.
I don't care what I do, but a DaVinci printing stuff in place that has to be a hinge or a gear. I have this thing dialed in. I've torn it apart down to just bare metal. I've torn all the plastic off of it. I have replaced bearing holders. I've replaced shims. I've replaced everything you could to make.
I've replaced a wire in it.
We replaced a wire because I had an end stop wire break, and it thought it didn't have an end stop, so it thought its x-axis was infinite, and it wasn't.
Just kept running its print head into the wall.
Yeah, it took the whole carriage, and I thought it was going to rip itself out of the printer. Luckily, it didn't. We fixed it, and it's up and printing again.
Yeah, which was great. It only took, hour.
I think it only took an hour.
Yeah.
So our expectations.
Our expectations is to educate, entertain, and just have a good time doing it. I mean, we want to enlighten you. We want you to be able to walk away going, hey, I didn't know that. Or, I should give that a try. Or,
Or, hey, you guys are frickin' wrong, and I'm going to write you a letter, and you're going to be an internet troll. Do that, too. We will read it online.
Hate mail is fine. It's expected.
We love feeding the trolls. But on a real scale, another thing we want to put in as well is we have a couple of people already lined up that want to do guest spots on the cast. Our local makerspace called Gizmo, we're going to set up at their shop, and they're going to do a podcast there. A couple of people I've met on social media, I've reached out to and got a hold of them, and they're very interested because there's not a lot like this. No, we're not trying to get a bunch of internet fame or anything like that. It's something we really enjoy, and we really want it to stick around. We really do.
Yeah, because when power tools are being made, Black & Decker didn't go, our table saws aren't selling real well, we may as well just jump out of this market. They stuck with it, and I think 3D printing should too. Yes, not everybody is going to need a desktop 3D printer, but there are hobbyists out there that are really into this. There's a lot of cool things you can do. One of the neat things when I started going through Thingiverse is a guy has hydroponics parts where if you want an indoor hydroponic garden, you've got fittings, connectors, nozzles, all that stuff that's 3D printable. Yes, you're going to have an expense buying the 3D printer, but depending upon the size of your operation, if you get your friends and family wants to get into it, you can print them parts, and it is at a fraction of the cost of buying this hardware at any hydroponic shop.
The guy on Thingiverse is 3D Ponics. He makes releases all those models, and it's an entire system.
Yep.
That he releases that you can take. You can print all the parts, and have an indoor hydroponic system.
Yep.
Very cool stuff. So many cool things that you can do with a printer. I mean, above and beyond making little figurines, which is 90% of what you print. Not gonna lie, I have a desktop Guardian rack. It's a shelf above my computer screens that's just all figurines, Thor's hammer, all kinds of stuff. And then that's what makes it fun. That's how you get people into printing. You show them this stuff and they're like, oh, that's cool. Where'd you buy that? Nowhere. I made it. My wallets. I get asked time and time again. I print the EULDT slant wallet from Thingiverse. I've been using them. My wife uses them. I've given them out to a couple people. Joe won't use them because he's too stuck up. But
I just have high standards. I want my wallet to do what I want it to do. That is too bulky for me. It's not for you, but I'm having to remix or remake a wallet just so it is a little bit bigger than the one I'm using, a little hard case wallet, so it holds all the cards that I need, but isn't obnoxiously huge.
Yep. And that's another beautiful thing about 3D printing. Not only it caters to everybody. If you can't 3D model, fine. Go. There is so many. I mean, you got Thingiverse, you got Yegi, you got My Mini Factory. You've got 3D hubs where you can even just say, "Hey, I'd really like a model of this." Someone print it. You can find a hub in your area and have it printed.
And under our web links on our website, we've got several of those places listed. You just go down to the 3D modeling software and the 3D modeling section, click on that, and check it out. There's
resources
all kinds
everywhere.
of stuff. Yeah,
Tinkercad is one I highly recommend. I love it. It's a free online CAD software. It does not deal well with high polygon counts, but if you're doing something simple, it's perfect. You got a Stormtrooper head and you want to make it into your gear shift knob, do it. I have one. It's up on Thingiverse. If anyone checks it out, it's great.
There's that, and SketchUp. SketchUp's really nice.
Mm-hmm. And you can get the extension to export as an STL.
Yep, both Tinkercad, SketchUp, and those SketchUp plugins are linked right off our website also.
Yeah. So let's do a little talk, Joe, about release time. What do we expect? How often do we want to do a release?
Weekly?
I do believe weekly. I think we're recording this on a Saturday.
Yep.
I think we're going to try to record every Saturday, as long as our schedules permit, and release the following Friday. So you'll see an episode every Friday from us. It'll be current, along with what we're going to talk about here in a little bit. Patron, you'll be able to ask us questions and we'll answer them. We can answer them on the podcast, and we can also answer them and release it in a video on YouTube.
Right.
Currently, we're not going to be recording the podcast video-wise. At this time, we're trying it out, testing the waters, if you will.
Getting our feet wet.
Yeah, that too. Although it's freezing cold in Idaho.
Yeah. If your feet are wet, you're probably walking down a street with Andrew and he's complaining that he stepped in a mud puddle or four.
I did, and I did on Thursday. My feet were very cold. Anyway, so as I said, social media. We are on social media. We have a Twitter account. It's I'd Print That Pod, all one word. We do have a Instagram account. It's I'd Print That. And we do have a Patreon page. So let's do a little talking about the Patreon page and what that's going to be and what we plan to do with it. Just like any Patreon page, if you've seen Patreon, done anything with them, they're a great place to go support someone, support content, anything like that. We're going to put together a page and already have. You can go check it out at Patreon.com/I'd Print That. We do have goals. We do have rewards. Go and check them out. One reward will be, we plan on every week picking a model off the Thingiverse and printing it. We plan on printing it in multiple filaments, all 3 machines, and then we can sit and talk about it and what the pros and cons of PLA and ABS and wood filament and flexible and
copper, aluminum, your exotics.
Except aluminum.
Yeah, aluminum can suck it.
Anywho, but yeah, there's 3 different levels, and if for some reason you guys like us enough and want to really listen to us and really, really like us, if we get to the $2,000 a month mark, we will buy a printer every month, and we will review it and end up with a giant room full of printers, and you'll be able to hear them in the background rather than nothing.
And I think we should look forward towards, if we get a bunch of printers that's printing, we should keep cameras on them. Just do live streaming.
Yeah.
You want to see prints going on. You want to see our failures.
Yes.
Though, if you got a room full of printers, you're gonna have a room full of failures. So
yes, more than one. I have 2 printers going almost 90% of the time throughout every day without cameras on them, and I never expect to come home to a fully completed perfect print. And that's what I think, rolling back to the people getting out of 3D printing thinking was a really cool idea. You expect to, every time you print something, it's going to turn out perfect.
yeah,
It won't. It will not. And that's really, if you get down to it, and even when Joe was planning on getting into this, the first thing I told him is, man, you can't get down on failing a print. It's gonna happen. And if you I brought my printer into the office, and I caught so much hell because, oh, print me this. Okay, I'll give it a shot. And it would fail, and I'm like, oh, that thing's junk. And no, it's not junk. It actually would put out some great prints. Something happened. There was a variable. Especially with the small format printers, you bump the table, they'll mess up.
like in printing ABS, if your room temperature is inconsistent, if there's a breeze, that stuff will botch a print.
If a mouse farts on an ABS print, it'll fail.
Yeah. So
I like
they're
ABS.
tricky.
It's great material. It's freaking indestructible. Hard to print, and that's all my DaVinci prints in. So I was kind of baptized in the fire, so to say.
See, I haven't printed in ABS yet. I've been printing in PLA. It's not that I'm scared.
The M3D can print in ABS.
It doesn't have a heated print bed, though.
Doesn't need it. That's a lie. They really need a heated bed.
Everything that I have read indicates, yes, they require a heated bed.
Yes, 90 degrees Celsius is what I hold my bed at. Anyway, go check us out on social media. We have a Facebook page, too. Check it out. I haven't posted much on Facebook. I'm not going to lie. I'm not a huge fan of Facebook. I like Instagram. Instagram, Twitter. They're quick. They're easy. You don't deal with a lot of drama.
You're sitting across from a guy who has absolutely no social media at all.
He's old.
Yeah?
You got to give Joe a break. He's old. Joe led this off with telling you I'm an old guy, and I'm the younger one. I'm 28.
So
28 years young.
That gives you an idea of just the generational difference. So, other than Twitter, Facebook, and Patreon,
website,
we're on SoundCloud. That's where you're going to listen to us probably most of the time. Yep.
They have a great app. I listen to a lot of podcasts through them. I'm going to shamelessly plug them. I don't think they're live anymore, but Nerd Poker with Brian Posehn. If you like D&D, you like comedy, give them a listen. It's worth it.
Posehn is great. I've seen him on many things. Another shameless plug to At Midnight on Comedy Central. Yes. Chris Hardwick. I've seen Posehn on there several times. Posehn is also responsible for a lot of the writing of Deadpool.
Yes.
Great comic series. Been a fan for many, many years. And a movie that will be coming out in February.
And actually the guy that helps him write Deadpool is on Nerd Poker. So
if you like what you see on Deadpool, you like comedy, and you like D&D, you can't go wrong.
You can't. Yeah, you really can't. And we have a website.
Yes.
IPrintThat.com. Joe's baby.
Yeah. I've been working on it for a little while now. It's where you're going to find most of the stuff about us. If we talk about something, tell you, to go check it out, it's going to be on the blog. It's going to be linked right from there.
And all of our social media, our Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, we have an Etsy shop. We're opening an Etsy shop. We're going to be able to print our little logo, the little printer that's printing. I'd print that. Also, another part of Patreon is you'll get a 3D print of that. Just go buy it. But yeah, we're really not hoping to, like we said, gain a lot of fame from this. We just want two friends sitting here talking about stuff we mutually enjoy. We plan on talking about 3D printing, obviously.
Yep.
We plan about talking about hardware, tech, movies, gaming.
If not directly, it'd be indirectly through quotes and other stupid shit that we say.
There will be many quotes, like, what's the internal temperature of a tauntaun, Jeff?
Lukewarm.
Every time. And reviews. We'd love to review things. And no, we're not saying, hey, send us your free stuff, huh? No, I'll review stuff I have. Joe will review stuff he has. We plan on having a YouTube. We're going to try and release these on YouTube. We'll have a channel. Pretty sure it's going to be called I'd Print That. Just saying.
In addition to product reviews, we like to do product demos.
Definitely. I have some, through Riley, actually. I picked up some demo filament from a company called YS. They're a Chinese company. And I picked up tons of half a kilo spools.
They're quarters, I thought, weren't they?
Oh. Why don't you just correct me on a podcast, Joe?
I will, because I've got some of them sitting
front
upstairs.
Of all of these people.
Yes, everybody in the room.
Yeah, but we'd love to test out your filament.
One of the first things we're going to be checking out is there's a print box or whatever that is you're going to be sent.
Oh, yes. There's a company. They're an Instagram-based company. They're doing a sub box, and it's
similar to Loot Crate, basically.
It's very similar to Loot Crate. A little more spendy, but got to figure out is you're getting filaments. You're getting exotic filaments. You're getting accessories for printing.
Yeah, we're not talking little trinkets here. We're talking even a 1/4 kilogram of filament. You can print quite a bit of stuff with that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's several wallets.
Yes. Several wallets. He's got to bring that up. Oh, they're called MakerBox.
Yes.
Go check them out. Subscription-based, monthly subscription box, sending you filament, accessories, gadgets, doodads, hoodises, all the things. Check them out. Another cool source for 3D printing stuff. Another shameless plug here. Go 3D Print. Go-3D Print. Great store. They sell 3D printer kits. They sell hot ends. They sell replacement parts, end stops, belts, pulleys, smooth rod, bearings, everything you can think of. You can build a printer from their site. Great little shop, and they have a multitude of printers. They are the only printer companies that I currently see that's selling the Iceman 3D, a very cool network-attached printer that's just standalone. You send it a file, better than Octoprint, possibly. It takes Octoprint out of the equation. No third party there. I've used Octoprint. I like it. It's okay. I had it on a Raspberry Pi. Worked okay with my DaVinci. Unfortunately, won't work with my M3D. So it's not a lot of sense in me having a network-attached printer.
Now, Octoprint, that's just a little print server.
Yes, Octoprint is a very, very small Linux-based server that drives your printer. It's just a G-code. You can push the G-code to it, and it pushes the G-code to your printer. The one very cool upside of it, you don't have to have a computer on and worry about that computer updating, right, Joe?
Yeah. Yeah, I had an awesome experience where I was in the middle of a 3D print. I was about halfway through, and my computer decided it wanted to do an update, and it shut down in the middle of my print. Well, my little printer doesn't have its own little onboard memory. It gets everything straight from the computer. So once that computer dumps offline, the printer goes derp,
Derp, derp.
and stops right in the middle of what it's doing. That was all kinds of not fun. I sat there and I had to wait for my computer to boot back up so I could lift the print head and release my model from the build plate. It was not fun. I was a little pissed off.
Yeah, failed prints are never fun. Actually, I have a funny one that even Riley from M3D, who has spent time building these, troubleshooting these little printers, he came to my house because I told him, dude, you got to see this. And my printer actually decided it didn't like its fan. It clogged the nozzle, failed to print, ripped the fan out, ripped it out of the plastic connector inside the heat head, and not only just pulled the connector apart, it stretched the sheathing off the wires, and it just destroyed it. I've had everything from a heater decouple on my DaVinci. That was a fun one because there's no information on that. There's no how to fix this. There's lots of information on how to flash new firmware to them, and no real hardware changes. They're a Taiwanese company. Their support is very hard to get a hold of, especially if you're in the US because of the time difference. But so yeah, I just kind of figured it out. And that's a lot of what we want to talk about. And at this point, I mean, we can speak on a DaVinci and Micro M3D. That's why we'd really like to get a hold of some new printers. Joe's going to get his Ultimaker, and I'm currently in the process of building a large format machine, 400 cubed Vulcanus Max. I'm trying to put the funds together, print all the parts, hoping that can be part of our podcast. Is just kind of here's an update on the Vulcanus and that kind of stuff.
And as we go through and get that constructed, we'll have photos online. We'll document the process just to make sure that, you know, if somebody wants to follow along, they have all the necessary information available to them, you know. Because there's always going to be something. There's going to be something that you encounter and go, wow, I wish I would have known X.
Yeah.
And we want to be able to have a Y to your X.
Yep. That's what we plan on. And we already have stuff on the site. M3D has an issue with their backlash calibration, and that was one of the things that were people were just howling about on their blog. And I found a really easy and quick way to calibrate those. And turns out even M3D wanted to hear this. The CEO of the company had Riley contact me and do a write-up on how I do it. It's on our site. We even have the backlash calculator. You take the measurements, you plug them into our calculator. It just like that, it spits out your exact backlash numbers that you need.
Yep. Just need a little pair of calipers and follow the instructions. It's pretty simple. It'll get you there.
I've only ever had to remeasure one time to get a perfect circle out of it, and it just came out of necessity. I personally had a really hard time finding the exact round point in the test print to measure to.
That's kind of the hard spot is in the test print is seeing where that exact round area is. But with the calculator and the instructions, once you do your initial backlash testing and you print their little cylinder that's listed in their instructions on their website, which we link to, it should get you very, very close. You might have to go in and adjust by 0.5, maybe even as little as 0.05, but that is better than fumbling through, throwing in random numbers and printing out 2-3 dozen of these little test cylinders.
Which I did at work once. I took my printer to work and printed it at my desk for a while. Jeez, I think I printed 7 or 8 of those stupid little backlash vases before I was able to get it right.
Well, you've seen the new thing that they've got, right?
Yeah, with the nickel.
Yeah, it's only... I've got 10 of them upstairs, actually. I've printed 10 total. That's just... Some of it was me adjusting the wrong thing, adjusting my X rather than Y, because I was following...
Joe doesn't know his axis from the hole in the ground.
That's right. I don't know my axis from the hole in the ground. But once I figured out what my adjustments were, I've got mine pretty dialed in. I still need a little bit of maybe a little X, a little Y, but the measurements that I need are fairly insignificant at this point.
Well, the last one you showed me, you brought to work and showed me, was spot on.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Very cool. Well, I'm excited.
I am too.
I'm excited. I was very nervous to do this. I'm generally an introvert. I'm very introverted. I'm an engineer. We're both engineers.
Yeah, and it's the most social activity I get is
gaming.
Gaming. Either Xbox, and even then when I'm on the Xbox or playing on the PC, I am the guy running solo missions. I am not like in large groups. There's been an exception to this.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. And WoW, when I was in a large raiding guild.
We said we weren't going to talk about it anymore.
Yeah, we weren't going to talk about that anymore. Hi, my name's Joe. I'm a WoW addict.
It's okay, Joe. We're all reformed WoW addicts here.
Yeah. But past that, if it's Xbox or PC, I'm generally, the guy off on his own. If I'm in a group, it's with my friends and people that I know. I'm not big on people I don't know. It's hard for me to make that transition. So, doing this is definitely something against the grain.
This is way out of the box for us.
Yes, way out of the print box for us.
That's a lot of it for today's episode. We plan on having, like I said, a couple people. We've already got a couple people lined up. I don't know about episode 2, because that's only in a week.
Yeah.
But maybe episode 3, we'll look at getting a person on here. One I know will be a Skype conversation, and he'll be talking to us through there. I believe he's out of Chicago. So that'll be fun. That'll be cool. He's a very innovative person. He's created a couple apps. He's created his own DLP printer. I know he created his own Delta printer as well from scratch. So, very smart guy. He was very excited to hear that someone's actually doing this, and so are we.
Like you said earlier, there's a lot of information, but it's very spread out. It's not all in one place. It's not very easy to find, and we want to take this information
bring it to you,
and
folks.
Bring it to you. Yes, exactly.
Through the power of the interwebs. So, if you like it, give us a subscribe on SoundCloud, and you can hear us every week. You know you want to hear this on the way to work.
And we've got a newsletter. Just go to our website, sign up for our newsletter. We will make sure that you stay up to date.
Yeah, everything, 3D printing, tech, everything. I mean, we both love gaming. We both love movies. I went and saw episode 7 twice already.
I'm a slacker. I have only seen it once.
He could have came twice.
I could have came twice, but unfortunately I had other plans that day, and I was not able to make it.
Star Wars.
Yeah, for on the topic of Star Wars, I think I like 7
It was good.
better than 1, 2, and 3 combined. 4, 5, and
Oh, yeah.
6 are still my favorites, but you know,
5.
I am a child of these movies. These were released during my youth. I grew up with them.
He's that old, folks.
I am that old. I have a picture of me from Christmas of 1978 with a TIE fighter. That is proof that I have been a fan of the Empire for at least forever.
Since we knew what it was.
Yep. That'll do it for this week. I'm Joe.
I'm Andrew.
Thank you for listening. I'd print that. We'll speak to you next week.
See you next time.